the last class we discussed about the composition of blood, right? Composition of blood and how blood transports things all around our body, what are the blood made up of, how the transportation medium actually works, right? Those kind of things we have already discussed in the last class, right? The different type of blood vessels also, all of you remember those things, right? Any confusion regarding any of these topics? Okay. Now, in today's class, we will be learning a little more about the transportation system in our body. A little bit of these things. The entire human circulatory system will consist of a central heart like this. This is the pumping mechanism and one of the most important organs of our body, right? It is one of the most vital organs of our body. The function of this thing would be to pump the entire circulatory fluid, that is the blood, to every single organ, every single living cell of our body, right, through the blood vessels. Now here is the heart. By the sides we have two bag like structures, we call them lungs, right? Lungs, these are present, these are the site for the exchange of gases, right? These are the region where the exchange of gases take place. That means carbon dioxide gets released from the body and oxygen gets absorbed into the blood, right? And every single thing would be transported all over the body. This is the entire human body, this circle. This will represent the entire human body. Okay? Now let us go into details about this heart. Remember one thing, the blue the blue color is representing the vein here, and the red one, the pinkish red one that I got here, this is representing the artery. Remember one thing, the major difference between artery and vein. Artery will be taking the blood out of the heart. Okay? Artery will be carrying the blood out of the heart, whereas veins will be carrying the blood to the heart, towards the heart. That is the basic difference, not oxygenated, not deoxygenated. I will explain why. Wait, okay? Remember these things. Artery will be carrying the blood, taking the blood away from the heart to towards the body, and vein will be carrying the blood from the body towards the heart. That is the basic difference. That is the most important difference here. Now the lungs, these are the site for the respiration. We already know this, right? Here the exchange of gases will take place. Now remember, heart is the major pumping instrument in our body, nothing else. It is the major function, and the only function of the heart is to pump the blood throughout your body, right? That's it, nothing else. Now the heart is being supplied with this kind of blood vessels, right? Artery and vein. I am representing artery with the red ink and vein with the violet ink here. Okay, now try to understand this thing very carefully. Now here, Sonu, when I asked you that what is the difference between artery and vein, you said that artery will carry the oxygenated blood and veins will carry the deoxygenated blood, and I said that this thing is wrong. This will not work like this. Why? Let's see. Artery is the blood vessel which will carry the blood from the heart. Now when the blood actually comes out of the heart, when the blood starts to come out of the heart, it will be under enormous pressure, right? It will be under enormous pressure. It will just force its way out of the pumping vessels, right? Now if the artery is thin walled, in the last class I actually explained what is the structure of artery and what is the structure of vein, right? If the artery somehow is thin walled, the pressure of the blood that is being exerted by the heart's walls will be so huge, so enormous, it will just burst open the artery. Now this will be very fatal for a living organism, for a human, right? So what happens, the arteries are very thick, and these specialized blood vessels which are specially characterized, specially designed to just carry the blood from the heart to all of the parts of the body. These are the arteries. Okay, now the artery which will, now see, when the heart pumps the blood, some of the blood will also go to the lungs, right? From here the blood will be oxygenated, and after that this oxygenated blood will go back to the heart, and after that the heart will again pump this oxygenated blood, which will now go to all the single portions of our body, right? All of you know these things, right? What is the entire circulatory system? What is the entire process? This is the heart. Some of the deoxygenated blood will go into the heart. I am just writing deoxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood. Okay, this is not date of birth here. Okay, deoxygenated blood is going into the heart. Now this deoxygenated blood will be sent to the lungs, right? Deoxygenated blood will be sent to the lungs to get oxygenated, right? This deoxygenated blood will be sent to the lungs to get oxygenated. Yes or no? You are understanding what I am trying to say here? Now, after this blood gets oxygenated inside the lungs, this oxygenated blood will come back to the heart. Oxygenated blood, OB, okay? This oxygenated blood now will come back to the heart, and again the heart will pump the oxygenated blood to the body. Got it? Could you understand what I am trying to explain here? Yes.
Deoxygenated blood comes from the whole body.
Yes, deoxygenated blood is coming from the whole body.
But when you are inhaling the air gets into lungs.
When we are inhaling the air is actually rich in oxygen, right? Deoxygenated, the term means lack of oxygen in the blood. The blood contains less amount of oxygen. That is the meaning of deoxygenated. Understood?
Sir, can you repeat, sir?
Okay. Try to visualize this picture that I have drawn here on the screen. The middle circle that I have drawn, this is the heart. Okay, this is the heart here. Okay. Now try to understand. The body is supplied with the oxygenated blood. This is a cyclic process, just like the natural cycles that we studied now in class 8, class 9, right? Nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle, those kind of things. Everything goes back and comes back again. The blood actually cyclates, travels in a cyclic pattern inside the body. Try to understand this thing very carefully here. Let us start from when the blood is being supplied to the body. Okay? So the blood which will go into the body will definitely be oxygenated, yes or no? Kids?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. When the heart is pumping the blood which will go to the body, this blood will be oxygenated, definitely oxygenated, yes? No confusion regarding this portion?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, this oxygen which is present inside this blood, it will be utilized by all of the body cells, right? All of the living cells that are present in the body. All the living cells that are present in the body will utilize this oxygen that is present in the blood, right? Right? Now, when this is done, the blood is lacking oxygen right now. Could you understand this thing? When the blood is being, the oxygenated blood is being transported to the body utilizes the oxygen. The body utilizes the oxygen here. Okay. Now, after this blood will become deoxygenated. After this, the blood will become deoxygenated, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, the blood is becoming deoxygenated because the oxygen that was present inside the blood got utilized. They used the oxygen. Okay, the body cells use the oxygens already. Now, this deoxygenated blood will be flowing back to the heart like this. this deoxygenated blood will flow back to the heart like this. Now the heart is the pump. Without the help of this pump, the blood cannot travel from one region to another, right? Now the blood will be pumped. The heart will again pump the blood where? To the lungs, right? This is the region. The lungs are the region where the blood are getting oxygenated, yes or no? Right? This is the region where the blood gets their oxygen, its oxygen, right? So the deoxygenated blood will be pumped into the lungs. Here from the lungs, when oxygen O2 will be added, right? In this lungs, the oxygen will be added, right, to the blood. Now the blood will become oxygenated. The blood is becoming oxygenated here. This oxygenated blood will now what will happen to the oxygenated blood? This oxygenated blood will go to the heart now. Now the heart will store this blood and again pump the blood back to the body. Again the body will utilize the oxygen. Again the deoxygenated blood will go to the heart. Again the heart will send the blood to the lungs. Again the lungs will send the blood to the heart. Again the heart will pump the oxygenated blood to the body. So let us repeat this entire cycle again. Oxygenated blood to the body. Body will utilize the oxygen. Then the deoxygenated blood will be sent back to the heart. Now this deoxygenated blood which is being sent back to the heart will be pumped back to the lungs by the heart, right? Here inside this lungs, this deoxygenated blood will be will be supplied with oxygen again. Okay, now this will be make the blood oxygenated one more time. This oxygenated blood will again go to the heart. This heart will again pump the oxygenated blood back to the body. This cycle will go on continuously throughout your body. Understood? Any confusion? Anyone? Kids, what happened? All of you are sleeping or what?
Yes, sir.
Sleeping, yes sir, or
No, sir.
understood? Yes sir, okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Sir, you can say both.
Okay, this end, you have to now remember one thing. This entire process that I have explained right now, this is very important, and this question have been repeated again and again in your board examination. How the entire circulatory system works, write in a gist or write a short note on the circulatory system. You have to write this thing, you have to explain this thing, and that too in the proper details. All of you understood this entire process properly, right? If any one of you have any kind of question, any kind of problem, ask me right now. After that I will go into details about every single artery and vein, the names of the artery and vein, the chambers of the heart which actually does this entire function, or the side of the lungs, the region of the lungs where these functions are being performed. This entire process was a gist of the entire system of respiration and circulation all over our body. This is not the entire circulation. Circulation also goes into the kidney to release the urea that our body has secreted as a waste material. We will go into that portion also. Okay. Now before we go into that, first of all let us cover up this thing. All of you understood this section? Clear, right? Now in this entire section you can see that the blood is coming and going coming in the heart and also coming out of the heart again and again. This section is being repeated, this process is being repeated again and again inside our body, right? Now whenever the blood comes out of the heart, I'm taking another thing for here. When this is the heart, whenever the blood is coming out of the heart, the blood vessel that will take the blood the blood vessel that will take the blood from this region is known as a artery. This is an artery, always remember. And whenever the blood will go into the heart, whenever the blood will go into the heart, this blood vessel will be a vein, always. Got it? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Always remember this. Irrespective of whether that is an oxygen, the blood that is being carried is oxygenated or deoxygenated. Whenever some blood is going inside the heart, it will be a vein. Whenever the blood is coming out of the heart, it will be an artery. See here. In the previous section, the deoxygenated blood was pumped from the heart, right? In here, this section,
Yes, sir.
I'm taking another color. This region, the deoxygenated blood was pumped out of the heart, which went to the lungs. Veins cannot carry this kind of a pressure. The veins will not be able to hold this kind of a pressure. This blood vessel is a specialized kind of an artery. The name is pulmonary artery. You can write in your copy. Okay, this is a pulmonary artery. This artery carries deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. Now, when the blood gets oxygenated inside the lungs, the oxygenated blood will again flow back to the heart, right? The oxygenated blood will flow back to the heart. Now, when the blood is being carried from the body to the heart, is that an artery or a vein?
The vein.
Vein, right? This is a pulmonary vein. Okay, this is the only instance where a deoxygenated blood is carried by an artery and oxygenated blood is carried by a vein. Got it? Pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Okay, these are the only exceptions in the entire system. When deoxygenated blood is being carried by artery and oxygenated blood is being carried by vein. Understood? Clear? Try
Yes, sir.
to just sink all of this information in your brain. Absorb all of these things properly. Just imagine the heart that is there in your body, right? As soon as the heart starts to beat, okay, as soon as the heart starts to beat, the blood will be coming out of the heart, right? It will be part closes on. As soon as the heart actually pumps, all the blood that is being stored inside the heart will be pumped out of the heart. It will come out of the heart. Okay? Clear? Now, when this happens, some of the blood which is being which was oxygenated will go to the body, go to every single cell that is present in the body. Okay? Now, the section of the heart which is carrying the deoxygenated blood, it will be pumping the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Got it? Now, this deoxygenated blood will again get oxygenated, will be traveling back to the heart and again will be pumped back to the body. Clear? Now, let us see the entire structure of the heart here. Try to understand the entire structure of the heart. Now, when we are talking about heart, try to remember one thing that you have studied in your previous classes. Heart is a 4-chambered machine that is being fitted in our body, right? The simplest structure that you can draw will be something like this.
So this is heart.
This is, just let me complete the entire drawing. Something like this. Okay, this is a rough diagram of the heart, and in your examination you will be drawing this one only. Don't try to draw the heart that is given in your book. this diagram would be very tough for you to draw. Okay, the valves and all the arteries, veins that are being presented inside in this diagram, this would be very hard for you to draw. Try to draw this one. This will be much easier for you to do. Okay.
Sir, how will we if we draw this?
Huh?
How will do those all naming? Like,
I'm explaining how you will do that.
sir, kami dah kailangan.
Huh?
Kailangan.
This is the general heart. This is the general structure of the heart. Okay. The heart is a 4-chambered structure. Here, the upper 2 chambers are known as, what are the names of these things? You have studied in earlier classes also. Tell me. What are the upper 2 chambers known as?
Aorta.
Hmm?
So which ones are?
These two. What is the name of these 2 chambers? Kids?
Sir, right auricle and right ventricle. Sir, left auricle and right
Atrium.
ventricle.
Or?
It
Okay. Yeah, you were close enough. This one will be the left atrium. This one will be the right atrium. Okay, left atrium and right atrium. These are the names. These are the names of the first 2 chambers of the heart. And followed by a thicker chamber, right? These are the ventricles. These are the, sorry, my bad, right ventricle and left ventricle. Easy, right?
So then which one is atrium?
Upper one. Okay.
So what?
Okay, not over. Just try to see this thing properly now. Okay.
Sir,
Huh.
left ventricle is larger than right, na?
Not in. Actually, there is a debate. Huh. In some of the not in some of the cases, left ventricle is slightly larger than the right ventricle. Yes, it is, because okay, I will go into those things in a moment. Wait, all of you have seen this now. Draw this in your copy properly.
Yes, sir.
Draw this in your copy. Ready? Let me know when you are done and be fast. Aisrang done. Ankon done. Rest of you, do it fast, fast, fast.
Done, sir.
Okay, okay, okay,
Sir,
okay. हाँ बोलो.
the right and left side is opposite to our right and left.
Arey, take your copy and hold it in front of your chest. Then you will see why I have drawn it like this. It will just rotate. Okay. Or if you want, you can just reverse the right and left. Your wish. It is just a diagram. Now, all done now? Remember now here. I'm just minimizing the picture here a little bit. The left side of the heart, will be carrying. Can anyone tell me? Oxygenated or deoxygenated blood? What will be carried to the left side of the heart? What will the left side contain? Oxygenated or deoxygenated? Anyone? Left will carry oxygenated blood. This side, the left side, will always carry oxygenated blood, and the right side will carry deoxygenated blood. Okay? Can you remember that? Write this thing in your copy with your proper statement. The left side of the heart will carry oxygenated blood, and the right side of the heart will be carry deoxygenated blood. Okay? The left side will carry oxygenated blood and right side will carry deoxygenated blood. Write this in your copy properly. Done? Now, now try to understand this entire process, how these things work. Here, the left side will be carrying the oxygenated blood, right? So, the oxygenated blood, I am using red color to denote the oxygenated blood here. The oxygenated blood will go to the left atrium, will go into the left atrium. I am just writing oxygenated blood here. Oxygenated blood. Okay? The oxygenated blood will go into the left atrium like this. Okay? Now, the left atrium will contract, it will pump, okay? It will just pump, and this oxygenated blood which was stored here in the left atrium will be pumped to the left ventricle like this, into the left ventricle, and in time the left ventricle will contract and will pump the blood, pump the oxygenated blood to the body. Okay? Okay? Now, the oxygenated blood was coming from the lungs, right? All of you remember that? The oxygenated blood was coming from the lungs, right? Now, the body will be utilizing all of the oxygens here. You already know these things. O2 will be utilized and the deoxygenated blood will travel all the way throughout the body and will enter the right atrium. Deoxygenated blood will enter the right atrium like this. Now the right atrium will fill up with the deoxygenated blood, and in time the right atrium will contract and will pump the deoxygenated blood to the right ventricle like this, and in time the right ventricle, which will be filled with the deoxygenated blood, will pump the blood out of here. Now this deoxygenated blood will go to the lungs for getting oxygenated. This deoxygenated blood will definitely go to the lungs, to get oxygenated. That's it. Okay, all of you understood this entire process? This process was easy. Oxygenated blood will go to the left atrium. Left atrium will contract. It will send the blood to the left ventricle. Left ventricle will contract. It will send the oxygenated blood all over through the body. The body will utilize the oxygen, will send the deoxygenated blood back to the right auricle. Now the right auricle will contract. It will send the blood to the right ventricle. The right ventricle will contract. It will send the blood to the lungs. The lungs will oxygenate this blood. That means it will mix oxygen with this blood, and the oxygenated blood will come back to the which chamber? Tell me.
Left atrium.
Yes.
To left atrium.
Yes. Okay. And the cycle will repeat itself. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Mention the vein in the artery.
Huh? Yeah, I will now I will mention the arteries and veins. See, when the blood is coming into the heart, I'm starting from the left atrium again. When the blood is coming into the heart, it will be a vein or artery. This section, this is a vein or artery. When the blood comes into the heart, it is a vein, always a vein. Okay. When the blood is coming inside the heart, it will be a vein. When the blood is coming out of the heart, it will be an artery. Okay. Now this is a vein, and this vein has a special name. We call this vein as pulmonary. My bad. Pulmonary vein. Okay. This is the pulmonary vein. The spelling is Pulmonary, pulmonary vein. Write it in your copy. This is the pulmonary vein. The handwriting is not that much clear, so I am telling the spelling here. Pulmonary, pulmonary vein. Okay. Pulmonary vein. Written. Now the blood is inside the heart, inside the left atrium. Now what will happen? The left atrium will contract. That means the left atrium will close on, right? Like this. It will contract, and what will happen? The blood will be flowing from the left atrium to the left ventricle. Okay. Now the left ventricle on time will contract itself, and what will happen? The blood will come out of the left ventricle. As soon as the left ventricle contracts, the blood will come out of the left ventricle, right? And it will be an artery, right? The blood vessel which will carry this blood, it will be an artery, right? This is the biggest artery in your body. The name is this thing. The artery that is carrying the blood from the heart here. This is the biggest artery in your body. And the name here, can anyone tell me what is the name of this thing? This is the, okay, this is known as aorta. Aorta. Okay, AORTA. Okay, clear, right? Now the blood will be transported all throughout the body. The aorta will divide into multiple arteries, and after that it will divide into multiple capillaries. The capillaries will transport the oxygen to all of the body portions, and after that it will carry the waste materials and everything, will again join back, will form a few veins. These veins will again join together, will form a big vein. Okay, and the largest vein will be carrying the blood, deoxygenated blood, to the heart's right atrium, right? The largest vein will be carrying the deoxygenated blood from the body to the heart's right atrium, right? And the name of this vein is vena cava. Vena cava, VENACAVA. Okay, I'm just enlarging this portion and writing it here. Vena cava. Okay, VENACAVA, vena cava. This is the largest vein in your body. It will carry all the deoxygenated blood to the right atrium. Now the right atrium will contract, right? The right atrium will contract, and this deoxygenated blood will be flowing into the right ventricle. In time the right ventricle will again contract, right? And this deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle will go to the lungs, right? And this is a vein or an artery? Tell me, when the blood is coming out from here, is this a vein or an artery? Artery, right? And the name of this artery is pulmonary artery. Okay, this is the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. So whenever you hear the name pulmonary, just remember it is the exceptional vessel. Okay, either if this is an artery, it is an exceptional artery which will carry deoxygenated blood, and if it is a vein, then it will be the exceptional vein which will carry oxygenated blood. That's it. Okay, this word will relate.
That is aorta or aorta?
Aorta. Aorta. The pronunciation aorta. AORTA. Okay?
Okay, sir.
This is the entire circulatory system that we have. Any confusion? Anyone? Go through these things. Now, if you have already understood this thing, last thing that I want to tell you guys would be the systole and diastole. Have you guys heard of these things? Now, in this entire topic, I have seen now the atrium and the ventricles are contracting and expanding again and again. This process is going on again and again, right? The entire heart is doing this thing, right? It is contracting once and expanding again. Okay, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. This is the entire process what heart does, the cardiac muscles does, right? This is the entire thing that that goes on right here, right? Now, when the heart is contracting, it will make a sound. Just try to hear your heartbeat. You guys are familiar with this thing, right? If you put your head on someone's chest, you will be hearing this kind of a heartbeat, right? Or if you are using a stethoscope or something like this, you will be hearing the right. Now see, you will be hearing two types of noises, right? One will be a harder one, a deeper one, and followed by a shorter section, right? Dup dup, something like this, right? No sir.
Yes, sir. I use stethoscope.
Yeah, whenever you utilize a stethoscope, that will be, but stethoscope won't be available for every single one of you, right? If you have a stethoscope at your disposal, then please observe this sound. You will be hearing two types of noises simultaneously. The first one is the systole. Yeah, like this. Okay. Yeah, like this. Now the first one, the first beat is the systole. That is the contraction. When the heart contracts, the entire heart contracts at in a while. Okay. In this entire contraction, atrium will be pumping the blood into the ventricle. Ventricle will be pumping the blood to the body. Okay, and again it will expand. Okay, the heart will decontract or it will just expand. Okay, now this will again make another sound, the second one, the second subtle sound that you can hear. Okay, that sound is known as the distole. Sorry, diastole, my bad. Okay, systole and diastole. Understood? When the heart contracts, the sound is known as the systole, and as soon as the heart again expands, what will happen? The sound that you will be hearing will be known as the diastole. Clear? These two are the I will write this thing, don't worry. Okay, these two are the names of the heartbeats that you can hear. So there are two types of heartbeats. Diastole. This is made. You can write here diastole. This is this sound is done due to the expansion of the heart, and systole. This is done due to the contraction of the heart. Okay, I'm just writing here expansion, and this is due to contraction. Clear? Any confusion regarding any of these topics?
No confusion, sir.
Okay.
Dup, 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 dup,
Dub 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 dub.
Sir, dup, dup, sir.
Yes.
Lub dub. Veins, artery, capillary, functioning of the blood, everything.
Yes, sir.
हाँ sir होना. Okay. अभी
Yes, sir.
okay, I'm drawing one chart here. Okay, let me draw this chart first of all, and after that I will explain what is going on here. This is actually clotting of blood. This is the topic of clotting of blood. Blood clotting. This is the mechanism by which blood is actually clotted at the region of injury. Okay, if some of you or us actually somehow suffer from an injury, a cut or burn or something like this, some kind of a injury due to an impact or a sharp object or something like this, so the you would be seeing that the blood will not just continue to just flow out of your injury, the wounded portion of your body, right? If this happens, you will be losing all the blood that is present in your body. This is not a possibility. If this happens, you will die. So for a self defense mechanism, the blood has a mechanism to clot the blood so that it reduces the blood loss from your body. So we will learn here how this happens. Now I'm drawing a chart. You should do the same in your copy properly. Injury. So now injury will be defined as the something like this. Injured tissue and This is a calcium ion here after the thromboplastin. Now, due to the action of this calcium ion here, you will be getting two types of substances here, prothrombin and thrombin. And again, action of calcium ion on the thrombin will result into fibrinogen, which will be actually water soluble or plasma soluble in this case. And another one would be fibrin. Fibrin. This is the actual clot. This is an insoluble hard blackish membrane that you can see on top of the clot. This is the insoluble portion. Also, we can call it the clot.
স্যার এটা কি লিখেছো?
কোন জায়গাটা? এটা
থ্রম্বিনের সাথে
থ্রম্বিনের নিচে হচ্ছে গিয়ে ক্যালসিয়াম আয়ন Ca2+,
না না এটা লেফটে।
প্রোথ্রম্বিন।
স্যার
হুম
স্যার শালে সপ্তাহে একটু জুম অফ করো না,
সবটা
লেখাটা সপ্তাহে একসাথে আছে।
একসাথেই তো দিলাম, এখন দেখ আমি আরেকটু জুম করার চেষ্টা করি। দাঁড়া, অপরের ইনজুরি তো সবাই লেখা লিসোস, ইনজুরিটা বাদ দিয়ে দেই। হ্যাঁ, এখান থেকে দেখ ইনজুরি, আফটার দ্যাট ইনজিউর্ড টিস্যু। না, তুই স্ক্রিনশট নিলে আর পড়াস না, কয়েকদিন পরে ডিলিট করে দে স্ক্রিনশট।
আরে আমার লেখা লাগবে তো,
ডিলিট করতে না তো স্ক্রিনশট,
লিখি তো।
খাতায় লিখবি।
হ্যাঁ,
নে
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
ওকে,
স্যার ফাইব্রিনের নিচে কি লিখেছো?
ফাইব্রিনের নিচে ইনসলিউবল আর এর নিচে ক্লট।
স্যার
হুম,
ক্লাস শেষ?
না না, ক্লাস শেষ না। Okay, write a question. Describe the mechanism of, if you are done drawing this chart, write a question.
বলো।
Okay, right. Describe the mechanism of clotting of blood, or describe the mechanism of blood clot. এইভাবেই লিখলে সব।
স্যার what describe the
Mechanism of blood clotting. Blood clotting. Blood clotting.
স্যার অ্যানসার কি তুমি দেবে না আমি লিখব?
আমি লিখব, আমি দিচ্ছি। during the time of injury, during the time of injury, during the time of injury or leakage from blood vessel, leakage, L-E-A-K-A-G-E, L-E-A-K-A-G-E, leakage from blood vessel, leakage from blood vessel, the platelets, P-L-A-T-E-L-E-T-S, P-L-A-T-E-L-E-T-S, platelets, rupture, the platelets rupture, R-U-P-T-U-R-E, rupture, and release a substance called thromboplastin, thromboplastin, T-H-R-O-M-B-O-P-L-A-S-T-I-N, thromboplastin.
Sir, rupture means destroying, sir.
Hey,
Can you repeat the spelling?
the spelling is on the screen. See properly.
Oh,
Huh?
that one.
That one. Aditya, you were saying something.
Sir, rupture means destroyed.
Not destroyed, it breaks down open actually. The cell membrane breaks open and the plastid releases this thromboplastin.
Okay.
The platelets actually releases this thromboplastin, okay, when they gets ruptured. The rupturing means the somehow due to the injury the cell wall, the cell membrane is getting damaged and opens up, that's it. Okay, thromboplastin, stop. In the presence of calcium, 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 thromboplastin acts on plasma protein, start a bracket, right, prothrombin, this is the plasma protein, okay, P-R-O-T-H-R-O-M-B-I-N, prothrombin, and forms
Sir, the prothrombin will be in bracket.
yeah, within bracket prothrombin, close the bracket and write and forms thrombin, T-H-R-O-M-B-I-N, thrombin, T-H-R-O-M-B-I-N, thrombin. In the presence of calcium, thromboplastin acts on plasma protein within bracket prothrombin and forms thrombin, thrombin, thrombin. Stop. Stop. After that, write vitamin K is very essential. Vitamin K is very essential for the formation of prothrombin in liver. Vitamin K is very essential for the formation of prothrombin in liver. For the formation of prothrombin in liver. For the
vitamin K, there will be full stop.
Vitamin K, repeat again.
So before vitamin K, so there will be full stop.
Huh. After thrombin, full stop, and then vitamin K is very essential. Vitamin K is very essential for formation of prothrombin in liver. For formation of prothrombin in liver. Stop. Thrombin acts on a soluble plasma protein. 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 Fibrinogen. The spelling is on the screen. Fibrinogen. Soluble plasma. Huh? No need. No. Normal. In a line. I will tell you when to put the name in a bracket. Soluble plasma protein, fibrinogen, soluble plasma protein, fibrinogen, and changes it into insoluble fibrin, and changes it into insoluble fibrin, and changes it into insoluble fibrin, Fibrin. Stop.
Sir, changes into insoluble
Fibrin. Spelling on the screen. The last one. Fibrin. 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 Stop. The fibrin undergoes rapid polymerization. You remember the polymerization from class 7 or sorry 8? Polymerization, that means addition of multiple molecules to form a long thread like chain, that is polymerization. Okay, undergoes rapid polymerization, 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 to form long fibers.
It will be S or Z.
Sation, polymerization, polymerization, to form long fibers. To form long fibers, Fibres. Stop. These fibers form a network over the damaged wall of blood vessel. This fiber form a network over the damaged wall of blood vessel. Over the damaged wall of blood vessel and exposed part of the skin. This fiber form a network over the damaged wall of blood vessel, over the damaged wall of blood vessel, over the damaged wall of blood vessel and exposed part of the skin, exposed part of the skin. Stop. It entraps, that means it actually traps the blood corpuscles, here. It will be forming a net like a structure. Okay, when the blood tries to escape from this net, the blood corpuscles, that means the blood cells, would be stopped here, would be caught onto this net. Okay, just like fish or any other substance that you will be catching with a net, something like this. Okay, so this thing will be stopping the entire clot of the blood, entire flow of the blood here on its track. So right, it entraps blood corpuscles, it entraps, 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 that is generally trap. Okay, it entraps, ENTRAPS, entraps blood corpuscles, 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 and forms a jelly-like mass, and forms a jelly-like mass, and forms a jelly-like mass, called blood clot. Called blood clot. Stop. Last line. The clot contracts and solidifies. The clot contracts and solidifies. To seal the point of injury. So the last portion would be up to injury. Done. Okay, all of you go through these things. Let me know if there is any problem, any kind of confusion regarding any of these topics. I will be uploading this thing tonight. আজকেই আপলোড করে দেব ঠিক আছে। আর তারপরেও কারোর কোনো কনফিউশন থাকলে পরে ভিডিওটা দেখে নিই ভালো করে, আর এই ভিডিওটা সেভ করে রাখবি, পরে আবার কাজে লাগবো। Leave.
Thank you, sir.
You all welcome. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye, sir.
Bye bye.